Hmm. Excellent now. What's that about? We'll see what happens. Alright. Well, poor quality now. been 30 minutes already. It's not supposed to do that. All right. Oh, I clicked X on it. That's all right. So now I gotta figure out how to procedurally generate a planet. Oop. I'm thinking. Yeah, I've already got it started here. Maybe. This one. Don't need that up. Planet size, random range. Fib at 10. Tiles are big. That works. But 10 gets real big, and which is 100. If I made 100 of these, I don't know how that would work. Especially if the planets end up being real big. But I gotta try something. So I'm gonna do that. So, documentation. Planet dimensions. Instead, I'll do planet. Oop. Let's just keep on trying. Yep, they should not be referenced. And they should not exist. Consider it. I don't think it'll cause an issue not having it. For now. Because I'm going to generate them. Nice. I'll do that. New collie. Collision poly. Collision polygon. Alright. I'll do that. Which is a... make that one merged of all the ones in region, maybe? I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself. Why dot? No. Equals collision polygon. New. New polygon dot global position equals. Now I want a reference here. Planet tiles. Chords for body or ID. It might be that. Get surrounding cells. Ooh, that might be useful. Or not. Oh, I have this right here. That's not right. Chords. Why are there none other than that? Local to map. Ooh. Map to local. Map to local. To global. Value to global. Oh, interesting. I don't care about that. Maybe I do. Returns the centered position of a cell in tile map layers. I'm gonna turn that off. I could hear myself speaking. Returns the centered position of a cell in tile map layers local coordinate space. takes in that, returns a vector integer. This one's just a vector, which I think is what I want. So I suspect this is exactly what I need. Local to map. No, map to local. Map to local. Vector 2i, which is gonna be vector 2 x y. That puts its position there. Yeah, that works. And then what does it recommend? To global. I'm gonna ignore that for now. I might have to add that, but now what I need to do is set up the new polygon. Where else do I make a new one of these? What do I have to do? Equals new body, add to group destructible. I gotta do that. Add to group destructible. Okay, well, good. Set deferred polygon. Set deferred polygon clip poly. Well. Set deferred polygon. Now I gotta do. It's a packed vector to array. Packed vector to array. From array. I'm gonna have to create an array. I think all I need to do is put this in here. And then start typing stuff out. The coordinates that they need to be. And I think I'm gonna create a variable for this actually. Which is gonna be chunk array, which is a vector to array equals what this needs to get. It's a vector to array, and I'm not gonna set it up yet. I'm gonna set it up here. Chunk array equals tile set. What is it? Tile size. Gotta retrieve that. That tile size. Yep, that's vector 2i. Tile size. Close that. Centered, maybe. Oh, not. I'd say I'd have to cut it in half and take the negative. To the first coordinate's gonna be tile size dot up. It's gonna have to be a vector 2. Just do TS. TS dot x divided by 2. Vector 2, why is it? Why'd I put it in that? Brackets. Needed to be in parentheses. And now TS dot y. Negative TS dot y. Divided by 2. Because it's up. And now, let's do some of this. I call it cheating. X stays the same. This is no longer a negative. And then it goes back. They're in squares? Yeah. Negative, negative. This guy is positive. This guy's negative. And now I have that value. Yeah. Chunk array. So I should have that set up. And now I've set that up. Add child. New polygon. And that does it a bunch. While that happened, doesn't seem like I got any issues. Whoa! And then it's bigger. Oh, because I didn't take into account that. I just spawned them all there. Alright. Let's see how it looks here. And if I can interact with it. Right now it's just a square. Oh, and then it glitched. Why? Because are they the same value? I don't know. Oh, whoa. It's going over every single one of them. Oddly enough. I don't know what's going on. Yep. Yep. They all spawned in quite alright. Even though there was a lot of them. It didn't seem to cause any issues. It's very much a good thing. I need to refill my water. Okay. I don't need to wear this. What am I doing? Let's throw it back there. I don't know why that is the case. Now, I think they are set to be this, which is a quality here. I don't use it elsewhere. Maybe. Variable. Remove it from there. Chunk array. I'm going to redefine this each time. Well, if it's not defined outside of that, do they? I'll test it. Still doing the same thing. Weird. Do it there. It's lagging, so it's iterating over. It's iterating over the points. I think it's iterating over every single point. Oh, that's done in this code here. Those ones are all. Should be different. I probably got it messed up somewhere in there. But here, I do want to define this value. Add to group destructible, put it at that position. That seemed to work all right. Make it equal to this chunk array. Here, oh. Was that causing an issue? Well, let's check it out and see. Oh. Hmm. So I don't think that was the issue. This is just a value here, and it's set to be that value, so I'm gonna move that back. Oh, I'm gonna keep that like that, because it's supposed to be like that. The issue, I believe, comes here. For chunk ingot children. My feet are starting to hurt. For chunk ingot children. If chunk is polygon 2D, Q free. Yeah, it gets rid of all of them. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to fix that some other time to make the experience smoother. If chunk is in group destructible. Group destructible, that only happens to those guys that I set to be destructible, which is only ever going to be collision polygons with polygons. Our new texture, polygon 2D equals that. Polygon equals chunk.polygon. Yes, exactly what I need it to be. Add child, new texture. Now, it doesn't go to the same position. Aha. That needs to be done. New texture dot global position equals chunk dot global which has a global position. Now let's see what happens here. Odd. Only happens in the corner. Even though I'm doing this, it's not going over every single one. And putting something visible there, which I think is odd. Very odd. And it's editing every single one now. They're all supposed to have their own position, right? 4x, 4y, global position equals that. Get map to local xy. That's going to be different for all of them, and spit them out where they should be exactly. Too global? Nah, I don't think so. Too global. Too global? No. Because this is just node to global. To global. Let's look at this. To local, to global. Vector 2. That's a to global. Oh, it's vector 2. Why does it say node to global? Oh, well, that's why. Vector 2, so it only works with vector 2. Tile have here. What is this? Well, this is a vector 2, so I could probably type in to global. global position equals that to global. That's what I would say is, no. I'm gonna leave that alone. That probably is not my issue. Now I need to remember what I was doing before. Their position there. New polygon, set deferred polygon, chunk array. So all of those are different. I mean the same. They're the same, but their position is different. But that shouldn't matter. I thought I accounted for that here. For p in poly.polygon poly, that is that, which brings the value. Polygon value moves it, which is this, where it's at each point. Append, and that's a vector 2. Yeah, this is a vector 2. Plus position, which is sent through, which is the point at which it is at, which it is moved to the point of collision. So that's exactly what it needs to be, minus the global position of minus global position of, not the planet, but the clip. What is it clipping? Minus the global position. Because after it gets this value, new poly. What I want it to be is the global position of the collision polygon, not the planet as a whole, because I wouldn't want to iterate over every single one that the planet has. Each time I need to clip something, I just need to clip the ones that are valid. So when I'm calling the clip function, I should clip get overlapping bodies. Can I do that? Can I just send through the information of all the overlapping bodies, and then do it for every single overlapping body? Maybe. So right now, I'm confusing myself. So I made all this, and I don't remember making it. For chunking, get children. Is all, yeah, I'm iterating over every single, whenever I call a clip function, and I call a clip function here. Where else do I call it? Nope, just here. If body has method clip, then I clip it. How do I determine this? If is digging is true and beam is colliding. Explosion dot global position equals beam dot get collision point. Okay, it goes over there for body and explosion dot get overlapping bodies. Iterates over all the overlapping bodies. That's bad too. Overlapping bodies. If body has method clip, get overlapping bodies. For body explosion, get overlapping bodies. No, that's a good thing. It'll only be called once if it's only colliding with one planet. Whether or not it's colliding with many individual collision polygons, it's only going to call that once. So that's fine. If body has method clip, then I clip it, I send through this guy all its information. Explosion, not global position. So that's the polygon, that's the area, which I use to determine things. And I do this function every single time. And then I iterate over every single body. I mean, not body, every single collision polygon. Well, I iterate over all its children. If the child, each individual one, has this, which is just all the collision polygons. Then it continues and does all this mess for every single one. That's terrible for performance. Very bad, very bad. So I need to find out if maybe I could do it with geometry. I need to find out if the points are inside. So that way things are being only called on oh, that's nice. Alright, so that way things are only being called on the polygons that it should be called on. But how do I do that? I don't know. That's what I gotta figure out now. How terrible. That's an idea. That was quick. I don't need it to iterate over all of them. How do I determine, well, geometry 2D. Clip polygons, polyline with polygon. Closest point to segment, closest point to get close. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know. I remember what that does. Get closest points between segments, intersect. Is point in polygon. Is point in polygon. I don't necessarily need that because I want polygons to overlap and I want to see if they overlap. I think I can do that with just clip polygons. If it returns a certain value, then I know they overlap. And then I just don't have to do anything with that except for continue. But line intersects line, make it less, merge polygons, offset polygon. Offset polygon. That might be useful. Offset polygon. Because right now I run a for loop. I'm busy. Triangulate polygon. Segment intersects circle. Offset polygon. Okay, so, well, for one thing, inflates or deflates polygon by delta units pixels. Oh, well, nope, that's not useful. That's not what I wanted. So, is point in polygon. Point, polygon, returns a boolean. That would be nice. Wouldn't have to do any big calculations, would I? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. What can I check? What can I check? Clip polygons. An array of clipped polygons. This performs operation difference between polygons, returns an empty array if polygon B completely overlaps polygon A. Enclosed. Bum bum bum. That means I'd have to iterate over all of them. I'm wondering. Ah. Oh. Maybe that's fine, just to iterate over all of them. But I would have to call a function that probably iterates over every single point they have. So that itself gets to be a lot. You know what would be funny? And I wonder if it would work. Instead of having the planet with a bunch of polygons, I have the planet with a bunch of static bodies. That needs to be a character body so that way I can move it around in orbit, around stars and such. But, does it? Yeah, I'll keep it like that. I don't know how I'm gonna code the rest of the game. But that's an idea. What happens though if I have just a bunch of static bodies? Each with their own singular, or maybe not, because then I'd have to make a static body for everyone that breaks open, or would I could make it within, I don't know, generate. Maybe that's what I should try to do. That way the area can detect which body specifically it needs to calculate, and it just ignores everything else. It doesn't even process on them. That's what I need, I think. Integer division. I figured it was there. Decimal part discarded. Chunk array, and then chunk array. For blah 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 TSY. That one is tile size? Oh. What? Integer division. That doesn't make sense. That is being done there. Or decimal part discarded. Well, decimal part was 0. Anyways. That's what it was. I see. Just gotta make sure those are positive. Now. Let's do this. New chunk. New chunk. Boom. Is it a static body 2D equals static body 2D dot new? And I also need to generate it with a new polygon. Now, one thing I could do is make a scene and spawn in that scene multiple times. Tempting. You could just put it in the group destructible. I'll try that. Static body 2D. This one is going to be a chunk. The chunky boy. Alright. Collision, polygon. Boom. Let me start off with a collision polygon. Which here I determined to be, okay, collision polygon global position. It doesn't matter. Its father, its parent, has the position. So this one stays its own thing, right? But now I'm wondering. Yeah, if I'm gonna change it anywhere, change it, change it here. Well, you can start off. 32. Negative 32. 32. Oops. 32. 32. Negative 32. 32. Negative 32. Negative 32. What have I done? Okay, no, that. Oop. This is what it needs to be. And I think that right there is a chunk. I can save it. Scene chunk. Boom. And void. Nope. Script here. Destructible. I just added to this destructible group. The chunk. I'm thinking. Add to destructible. That way I don't have to iterate over its children to determine Yeah, whatever. We'll see. Planet. So I don't need to do that. Boom. What I need to do here is get a variable. What is it? I forget what it is. A variable. Chunk. Reload. Chunk reload. Goes. Packed scene, I believe. And that is going to be a preload. Chunk. .tscn. Here, new polygon. I removed that, yeah. What I do is new chunk does not equal static body dot new. New chunk equals packed scene. No, I forget what it is. I forget what I do with that. I'll just do this. Equals chunk dot preload. Oh, chunk underscore preload. New chunk. We'll just do chunk here equals chunk preload. That comes with that. I don't need to set up this thing here, chunk array. That's not useful. Not anymore. Var ts. Where is this useful? Nowhere. Planet dimensions is determined by planet size. So later I might want to make it squish and squash or something. I don't know. Probably not. But I'll leave it like that just in case. For x and x for y and y. Add the chunk. Oh, chunk preload dot instantiate. Silly me. Instantiate. Now, what it needs to be is chunk.global. Chunk.global position equals planet tiles mapped to local these coordinates. That's good. Set deferred polygon chunk array. Nope, because I already set that up. Add child chunk. That should be it, right? Yeah. So now if I go over to chunk here, this is all under the ready function. The clip doesn't get called at all here. The clip, not to be in the planet, but to be in the chunk script. Each chunk gets called clip on it. That's because the collision body is, or the collision polygon is under that body, not this body. So this body does not get returned. That one I just used to move everything all at once seamlessly. So clip function, this clip function needs to be moved under there. Cut. And what do I do? But I add a script here. Scenes, nope. Scripts. Here we go. This has nothing to do with the character body, so I'm safe to do that. And now, because it's individually and the chunks are small, they're not going to be in a bunch of bits and pieces that I got to be cautious about. I feel like if I'm setting up that there planet, what I do is I set the planet size and then I iterate over this. Up to local. What do I need to do that? I don't need to do that. Just need to multiply coordinates by these. I'm just using x and y. X multiplied by the size of them. Y multiplied by the size of them, which is just the difference between those points on the vector 2. I can just get the size of it that way. Well, let's see here. What kind of information do you provide for me without me having to do weird calculations? Size of a 4. Solid. Transform. Nothing for me. That doesn't seem very useful, but what if build mode? Nope, they don't have methods. This guy doesn't have a method, surprisingly. Surprising me. Geometry. That's so sad. Oh, look at that, it popped up now. Type of streaming software, wow. Okay, I've now details. I can just use the same thing. Cool. Control room. Keeps giving me errors. So, now, what I do. Does this work? I don't think so. What did I modify in it? Minus global position. This clip is called. Well, now, let's just see what happens. Seems to function quite the same. Except this corner now doesn't bug out. That might be a step in the wrong direction though, because nothing is happening here. Nothing is happening. So it's calling that these guys shut up. All right. Body.clip does that, sends that information through planet over here. These guys, this just sets to spawn it. Because I set that to be destructible and not those. Well, I do set those to be destructible, do I not? Well, not these ones. That's right. So over here, what I do if isn't group destructible, look at this. What I call is clip body has method clip. Then I do this. Bum bum. Because it's returning overlapping bodies, which is just the ones that's overlapping. Has method clip. Clip, clip, clip. That's what I do to send it over. If I go to the chunk where this is being called, look at this. Now I have chunk get children. What the heck is chunk? For chunk and get children. If chunk dot is in group destructible, it is not. Or true. Ah, okay. Because this guy, he's only got one child. I'm just gonna screw you and see what kind of errors I get. Well, that's just kind of interesting. Because this looks like it's going pretty well. I don't know if I did everything right, but it looks like I did. After all, I mean, these should be split up into multiple pieces, and I want to see if they are. I got a remote, void, planet. What I got is a bunch of chunks here, a bunch of static bodies, and some of them should have more than one collision body. Well, look at this. This guy has 2 collision polygons and a normal polygon, which I can't see for some reason. That's an issue. O is in group destructible again, because right now, add to group destructible. Oh, I'm adding them to destructible, not the old ones, though. Those ones aren't in the group. What if I remove that? I don't add it to the destructible group. Let's test this out again. I need to move my player character closer to the stuff. Well, same thing. No issues, except for the fact that polygons are not coming into existence and being visible like they should be. Visible polygons. I can only see the other stuff. Well, if chunk is in group, okay, for chunk in get children. Instead of is in group destructible, I'm just gonna say if chunk dot is collision polygon 2D colon. I believe that should do it, but we'll see. Well, no. Not quite. Interesting. For chunk in get children. What is chunk? If chunk is in group, well. This thing for chunk, this just happens no matter what. I don't call return anywhere here. So this happens no matter what. For chunk in get children. Now chunk, get children. This method is being called on the chunk here. I'm saying chunk a lot. Starting to get more talkative. Me. I am. Despite the fact that I'm talking to no one and it's awkward. Feels weird. But I'll get better at it. If I continue. Only if. That is. Or true. Now, I just call or true. If chunk is collision polygon. Well. Print. Print. Some. I cannot type. Something. Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to do this. Now something should be happening. And it is. Look at that. It's printing something, so which means this is true and it's happening. Now, what happens? Global position. That's also set. Chunk.global position equals that. Polygon equals chunk.polygon. Now, problem with that. Chunk. For chunk. And get children. So chunk is the child of this thing. So that's what it is. Global position. Oh, yeah, global position. Because that takes into account, well, nothing else. It just takes the global position. That's exactly what I want it to be. I use global position a lot. Love it. New texture, polygon. What's that? Add child, new texture. Now, add child, new texture. Now that is adding it to the static body. I don't see why. I can't see it. Polygon. This is happening. And I can't see it. Odd. It's weird. Chunk. Boom. Alright. Alright. What if I do this? Whoa, weird. Okay. Chunk.add children. Add children. Well, that. Oh. What do I do in my script? It iterates over all the children. For chunk and get children. If chunk isn't group destructible or true, it doesn't no matter what. So this is going to happen even if it's just a regular polygon. I want it to only happen if chunk dot. Okay, for chunk and get children. If chunk dot is collision polygon 2D. Continue. Now I shouldn't get an issue like that. Then I continue. Maybe that's what was happening. I don't know. Maybe it's not what was happening. Alright. If chunk is collision polygon 2D, clipped poly equals geometry 2D dot clip polygons. It does the thing that it's supposed to do. I think. Q-free does the stuff. Else for P in clip poly dot size. Where does it add in? Add child. This is important. This thing, new body is guaranteed to be collision polygon 2D. Now, after that happens, if chunk is polygon 2D, Q-free, it gets rid of it. And then it adds them back. That's not cost effective, but I'm doing it just to figure out if stuff works. And then I call this afterwards. This is important because it gets called afterwards. And it's supposed to spawn in a bunch of polygons, which I can see, but I can't see them. I don't know why. if chunk is polygon 2D, yeah. Is collision polygon 2D? It equals that. Chunk and get children. That gets all the children of each of these individual static body chunks. Which at the start isn't anything, it's just one. So I should have one, but then it changes once I cut through some of them. And then it's supposed to be multiple. Multiple. That's what this takes into account. What I made it for. But I'm confused. Why they're not spawning in at child new texture. And it's pissing me off. Alright. Yeah, that watermark sucks. Eh. Okay, so I'll do it here now, because that's what I was going to do. I did make a change first. Polygon. And what I can do is just copy that and paste it into here. Data. Polygon. Paste value. And now what I got here is, whoa, okay. Perfect. That's exactly what I want it to be. Why is it like that? Don't ask me. Alright, now let's see if this works. They spawn in and they should be nice and white. But then it gets rid of them. Then they're gone. Sadly. And I wonder why. I do. Very much wonder why. They disappear and they don't come back. Disappear and they don't come back. Or, let's do this. Toggle comment. This might be the cause of it all, but I don't know why it would be when they're supposed to be added back. Like I said. Oh, look at this. Wait a second. Wait a bloody second. Once they get hit. Once they get hit, yeah, they just disappear completely. So nothing's even happening here for chunk and get children. If chunk is polygon 2D. This is called after this, so that means that it should have the final count of all the children the chunk has. And I'm still using the word chunk. That's making things a little confusing, but I don't care. Maybe I'll modify it later. Right now I'm trying to figure out the logic. If chunk is collision polygon 2D. Wow. I can do whatever the hell I want. Heck. Sorry. Didn't mean to swear. But that's okay. Polygon.new. And it gets added. It's added. Like that one does. Set deferred polygon. Blah, blah, blah. Polygon equals chunk.polygon. Maybe I need to do set deferred. I don't think so, though. It was working before. Chunk.global position. Now, here's the thing. Global position. I'm going to set it to global position because the polygons don't change position. Do they? Global position. Let's check where these are. It doesn't change position. They never change position. They're always at position 0. So I'm just going to use the global position of the actual chunk. This is why it's confusing to have everything called a chunk. Uh-oh, well. I gotta add these back. For chunk and get children if chunk is polygon 2D Q free. Alright. Cool. Uh-oh. Oh, that one disappeared. That's a glitch. I really enjoy cutting through all this stuff. This is fun. Never thought I'd be able to make this work. And maybe I was right because I can't seem to make it work. I just delete them and they never get added back. They never get added back. Add child, new texture. Maybe they are appearing somewhere. I just don't see it. What if I zoomed out a lot? Clear camera. I can zoom out quite a bit. Because I was zooming in before. I can zoom out. It's going to be a little irritating to work with. Whoa! Sorry about your eyes. Oh. And look at that. They're spawning in the correct shapes. All the way over there. And I was confused. Let's test this out now. Alright, so I spawn them in global position. Global position. I don't know why they're going all the way over there. What if... I've had issues like this before. You put them in and then you modify their characteristics. Well, I'm not disappointed because I finally got it to work. But I do want to understand why. First, I'm going to zoom in so that way I don't startle myself. Just going to do it. Nah, whatever. This much. This much. And also, I want to modify the laser beam. This thing. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good size. Script. I don't know. Polygon. Or, because the polygon is just a value. It should be consistent. That should matter. Well, I can test it out. I don't have to confuse myself about things that I don't understand. I can understand them through testing. And that seems to work. Look at that. Well, except for that. That happens sometimes. Don't know why. I'm not too concerned about it yet, though. I can probably fix it later. Add child, new texture. So the problem was the global position. So if I set the global position... Oh, because it was doing double. That's why. It's doing double. Because not only... Okay, I start off by setting its global position equal to an object's global position, which is at a non-zero position. What happens then, when they're added back in, is they have that position relative to their parent because they're being added to another object. Yeah, because before I add the child, it doesn't know where it's going to be added. It doesn't know that its parent is going to have a position in space. So if I put a position on my thing, on my chunk polygon, if I put a position on my polygon, it takes that position relative to its parent, which also has a position, which offsets it. It basically doubles its position in space. And that's what it does. I've had that issue before. I'm never gonna learn. Except I did just now. I'm gonna learn and then I'm gonna forget. Now, the laser beam goes all the way over there. And look at this, I cut through all of these. Wow. And it's so nice and satisfying. I wonder how. Okay, so I've got this 10. What if I make it 1? My game is gonna start lagging. Probably. But the reason I do this... Oh, why is it 1? Oh, I see, that's why. You know what? My game isn't actually lagging the way I thought it would be. So chunks are awesome. This is a beautiful thing. Well, except for the fact that I'm bumping into stuff that are invisible. Now, I don't like that. There is some adjustments I'm gonna have to be doing. If you can read this, you'll understand. But you probably can't because of the resolution or something. Or because it's too much to look at. What that does is just removes points in the packed vector 2 array, as long as they're real close to other points. If they're in between 2 points that are really close to it, both of them, then it just removes the point. So that way I don't have to have so many points to calculate. So if I set this to being 20, I wonder if it'll even work. It does this. You see how the spots are being removed or added even where I'm not beaming it. What an interesting thing is if I put this here. Oh, no, what happened? Oh, that's right. Boom. Saved it. Then I can do a little cheeky move and it does that, which is a bit funky. It's because it only checks the point in front of it. That when I do it like this, it only checks the point. Yeah, v plus 1. It checks the point in front of it, but not the point in back of it. So it doesn't matter how far away the point in back of it is. So long as the point in front of it is close, it deletes itself, and that just makes the entire section behind it change, which can get to be pretty long, as you saw there. And I think this is all good. I think this is pretty decent code. The game seems to be running pretty nicely. I think what I can... Oh, except for that. Well, that glitched. That right there. Oh, it's because the chunk didn't calculate. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. Because when a chunk... Oh... I'm gonna be deleting a chunk. Yeah, whatever. When a chunk gets removed from interaction, it's essentially when it loses its collision polygon 2D, then I can't interact with it anymore. And so if anything glitched out or got stuck looking a certain way, it's the node isn't gonna update, and so it's gonna stay like that. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to update it, or just make sure that the node gets completely removed, eradicated, once I can't interact with it anymore, because why have it around in the first place? It's just taking up processing? I don't know. My coding expertise is limited to this engine specifically. I don't know how to code in any other language. And I don't understand computer science very much. So I'm a bit of a moron with programming. But that's fine. Let's just say that. Now, how long I've been broadcasting for this session? Has it been 2 hours? Yikes. I planned on going until 8 if interesting things happen, but interesting things are not happening, sadly. Oh yeah, because I've still got it set to 20. I want to set it to 2. 2 is probably a good number. So that way things aren't too crispy. Yeah, and I can add some detail here and there, but the point is, destructible terrain works. Ow, hurt myself. Now, I've got the ready function, which adds the chunks, but one thing I want to do is kind of encapsulate, I don't know, remove the outer edges of it, so that way I can basically form it into a circle to make it a planet, because that's what it's supposed to be, a planet that I can use, that I can walk on and stuff. I'll fly my spaceship too, and it's gonna be much bigger than what I'm showing right now. I'm just trying to figure out how to make it all work. I'd also like to procedurally generate caves through it, and I think I can do that with noise generation. I have a good time making texture rect. I have a fun time making noise textures. What the heck? That is different from... Nice. That must be new to 4.4, because it used to be just purple. And if I do that... Simplex, smooth, whatever. Fractal, ping pong. Boom. Look at this. If I just this, oh, interpolation, constant, boom. Can I generate caves doing something like this? I don't know. Dust begins to fall to the ground. Ooh. That's spotty. I don't like it. Oh, that one's alright. I think I've used this to make stars before. Oh. Hold up. In the void, I've got the space texture here. How to make this? I forgot. Got this. I'm assuming it's set to constant. Cellular. FBM. If I did ping pong. Rigid. Yeah, whatever. It ain't perfect. I mean, zoom in. I don't know. Like a man plagued with disease, I try to find through my pores it seems to seep when I bleed forever. Alright. Simplex. Berlin. Value cubic. And value. Modern art. This one seems like it would be the one to go with. Ah! That didn't look good. Alright. And this doesn't affect a thing when there is no octaves. Gain? I don't think gain does a thing either when there's no octaves. When octaves are 1. That doesn't do a thing. Now that does stuff. Ping pong. What if I made my caves like this? That looks like a good cave to explore. A few good caves to explore. Right? Frequency, boom. On a much bigger planet. This is wow. Make it brown so that way it's more familiar. Looks like dirt. That way it looks like dirt. And then the other thing, this is going to be much darker dirt to signify that it's the background. Because that's how games do things. Look at that. That looks like a cave. Look at this tiny thing you gotta squeeze through. Or use a laser beam to open up a bit. See, this game is gonna be a fun one. I'm telling ya. Texture. Nearest. Oh yeah, here we go. It's all pixelated. I plan on making the game pixelated with post-processing. That's complicated, I think. I've done it before with the help of people online who don't know who I am. And they don't know they helped me. But I still don't know exactly what I'm doing with it. So I'm gonna have to look online again. Alright. To figure it out. Yeah. That looks like a cave. Can change the seed. Look at that. Simple. Every time I want to generate a cave, I just change a seed. Modify these things a little bit. Yeah, frequency will be no, that's gonna have to stay the same thing. I'm gonna have to find it. Right size. Domain wrap enabled. Now this makes it look like oil paint, which is really interesting. Mud stains. Ooh, I like this one. This one's cool. Amplitude. Now that don't look like a cave no more. Frequency. This looks like a mess. Probably won't be using that. But hey. How fun is this? Simplex cellular. Like I said, that don't work too well. This one looks like good. Like it's good. Look at this. Can generate some interesting caves this way. Value cubic. This one could generate some. These caves look more jagged. Make it more interesting if I have some of these. And just value. Okay, now this is more cubic. I might be using all of these. Because it'd be interesting to find different types of caves. Because I think using noise generation is probably how I'm gonna make caves. I don't know how I would do it otherwise. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do it this way either. I'm assuming I can just like... There's probably data I can retrieve from this to determine where points are cut into or something. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. Now I wonder. I have polygons here, and this is just the starting one, but what happens when I put a texture on it? And let the texture get modified and added to, I'm just gonna use a noise texture. Okay, well this time, oh, because it's only grabbing the corner. Interesting, alright. I'm gonna make a texture and save it over here, so that way I can use it. Yeah. Simplex smooth, fractal, ping pong, octaves low, very low. This is gonna be a brown color, constant. So it's going to be a darker brown color. Oh, yeah. And that looks good. Look at this down here, that looks right. Value, no, I'm just gonna use simplex. Smooth. Then, no. Value cubic, no. Simplex smooth. However, these need to swap places. Right? No, that's wrong. Whoops. Oh yeah, that's right. I never need to question how to fit you. Come on, bring it. No, no, leave it. That looks alright. Doesn't matter. Why am I doing this? Look at that. That reveals more of it. Might be able to put some nice texture on it because of that. Problem with that is that requires these guys to be... Their points need to be in space. And they're not. But we'll see what happens. Well, I can just do this here, and all of them are gonna look ugly. Yep, as I expected, and then they become white because they get modified. Don't know why that one got modified, but in the code, what I can do is polygon 2D. Noise texture, I want to save this. Save as ugly dirt. Boom. Ugly dirt. And in the script, what I can do every time. Okay. It's in the chunk script every time these guys get added back. Their texture needs to be that. New texture dot texture equals. I think I do load ugly dirt. But we'll see if this works. Oh, and it does. Look at that. Cool. That's cool. Now, I do want to see visible collision shapes. I don't want to see them with those gaps all throughout. And look at that. They don't have those gaps all throughout, so. But they do. Shut up. It's glitch out like that, which is weird. Maybe I'll be able to fix that at some point. I don't know. Light up polygon, modify based on that. I think what I'm gonna have to do, if I want the texture to be cohesive, I should be able to modify this somewhere in there, but I think what would be better is if I just put the coordinates in 2D space of the collision polygon. Collision polygons instead of the static bodies. Those will be all at position 0. Collision polygons will change. Yeah. Ow. Ow. But this ballad. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. This rose is born again. There you'll find me before the dawn of man in castles made of sand. There you'll find me. Alright. So then how do I do it? Well, to start, chunk.global position equals planet tiles that map to local. Oh, yeah. instead, whoa, map to local that. From map to local. That's right. I was also gonna get rid of that tile set. I don't think I need it. Tile map layer. Chunk global position. Planet tiles map to local vector 2 XY. I said that out loud, but I don't even know what I was reading. Chunk the global position goes to the, yeah. Now I know. But I don't. Towns of flying men. Rings of dust and ice, weightless in the night. There you'll find me. Let it go. Up to local. Gets coordinates, but I also know the width of each one, which is 64. So what I would have to do, take that coordinate, map to local that. I can get a variable there and just call map to local, so that way I have that in for myself. What I can do, chunk.global position equals that. Nope, I'm gonna call a variable. Chunk preload bow. Okay, what I'm gonna do is do a variable here. Var chords. Map to local vector 2. Well, it's a vector 2. I am just gonna do that to be nice. Chords, which is a vector 2, equals planet tiles map to local that. So that gets me the center of the coordinates, I believe. Then what I can do is this, because it already has that. So to start, I think I run a for loop. For the in chunk dot polygon chunk.polygon, I believe, for get children for p in poly.polygon, I believe. Wrong. Chunk.polygon. That's wrong. I need to get its child, which I don't have. I gotta be careful. I think what I should do OG original polygon original polygon. Original polygon, original polygon. Now I can reference that. Get node. Or V and get chunk. Get node. Original polygon. Get node original. Oh, get node original polygon. Dot. Oops. Dot polygon. Intended block after for block. V equals V dot global position. I believe. New poly dot append. Should I just do that? Make a new poly? Gone. Well, if I'm doing that, if I'm making a new polygon, I don't need to grab those anyways, and I don't need them to exist in the first place. For original polygon, what I do then is make a for all the points in that. Do I need to do this? No. I should be able to do is just get a course equals that. Sure. Coordinates, which I'm gonna use coords. Is that X? I don't know. I'm losing my mind right now. I've been doing this for too long. I blame you. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I could iterate over all of the ones that exist. Or I could just make a new packed vector to array, which I think I'm gonna do. Make a new packed vector to array and just punch in the points that they need to be based off of this, because I'm already running a for loop which takes into account both x and y. It gives me a value for both x and y, you know, and shoves them where they need to be. Chunk is at position 0. On its parent, which is the planet. So it goes to position 0 on the planet. That's fine. That should work, right? But the polygon also is at position 0. Same position as its parent, but the polygon, the points on the polygon need to be different. I believe. Yeah, my light is making that. Making my face move. So, var, I'm just gonna call it poly, and it's gonna be a packed vector to array, which is equal to the quantity. The quantity. How does it start? What I've got is the coordinates. So it's gonna be the coordinates plus or minus. Well, it's a vector 2. Within this, I've got x, which is going to be chords.x. Wards, chords.x. Chords.y. Sure. But because this is a point, it needs to be modified a little bit. So this is the point at a point. And because this is the first one, I need it to be plus. Well, it's actually 32. It is 32. But what I can grab instead is size of it. Which I'm just gonna have a variable representing that. Var chunk size vector 2 equals vector 2 64 64. Boom. And now I can just do chunk size divided by 2 C chunk size dot x divided by 2. That's a positive 1. Boom. This one is gonna be have to be negative plus chunk size dot y divided by 2, but also this is a negative chunk size y divided by 2. And then, wow, I've got a lot of these to do. Copy. It's a long one. There. I think I can do this. To clean it up a little bit, I think this works. I think the code still works. And that closes it up. Don't think I need the spaces there. Alright, so I got the first coordinate here. Then this changes. This changes, that goes there, and what I do here is I get the negative there. And I think that works. Now the coordinates. This is for poly. Now I've got that value, which represents all the, well, that's the packed vector 2 array that the polygon needs to be. This one specifically. And what I need to do, for v in chunk get node original polygon. Wrong. Don't need to do that at all. Chunk dot get node original polygon dot polygon equals dot poly set deferred polygon poly. I'm gonna say new poly. New poly. Set deferred polygon new poly. And chunk dot get node original polygon dot polygon equals new poly. Add a child chunk. Let's see if this works. I'm having issues with ghost pieces. That's okay, because this is looking great. That kind of worked, you know? Seems like it's working all right. Wow. That's nice. It's nice when that happens. And, well, that was a small one. Let me see if it changed size. And look at this. This one is much, much bigger. Little bit of a glitch down here. That's because that thing isn't a big size. It's gonna have to change size. Yeah, it didn't dig all the way through because there's a limit to how far this thing reaches. That worked. Dust begins to fall to the ground. That song is stuck in my head. Oh, I see. Cool. Seems like a good place to stop and never return. So that's what I'm gonna do. Except for the second part. Hopefully. So how do I do this?